Hello and welcome to Jobber Professional Development Day. I'm Molly from Jobber, and before we get started with growing your client list with reviews and referrals, I wanted to thank Nice Job, our sponsor for the process track here at PD Day. Nice Job, which integrates with Jobber, streamlines the process for you to collect reviews from your happy customers and ultimately grow your business. Now let's get started. Welcome, everyone. We are here today to talk about reviews and referrals, two cornerstones of word of mouth marketing and a strategic way of leveraging your existing customers to grow your business. When we asked our community what they wanted to learn at PD Day this year, strategies to drive reviews and referrals were at the top of the list. So I'm excited to welcome these folks here today to talk about that topic. We have Dan Guest, president of Guest Plumbing and Heating. Wave, Dan. Kurt Stenberg, owner of Cochrane Tree Care, and Terrence Chan, president of Impetus Plumbing and Heating. So welcome to all of you. Thanks for being here today to share your learnings, advice, and trial and error, because we definitely want to get into that. And I am going to start us off with reviews. So I looked all of your companies up as I prepared for this discussion, and between your three companies, there are hundreds of reviews across several review sites, and you're sitting at an average of 5 stars. So everyone, we brought the right people in to talk about this topic. Dan, you had the most recent review on Google from a few days ago where someone called you personally out for customer service. So I am going to direct the first question to you. Where do you collect reviews, and what's been the benefit for your business to spend time collecting them? Because I am sure that all these reviews don't come in by accident.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Thanks for having us. They're definitely on Google. There's so many platforms now that are kind of starting up and getting some traction, but Google by far gives you the most bang for your buck. Getting a client's review is challenging enough, right? Once they've done the service, they take that extra effort and give you a review. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them. So Google by far has been the number one for us. And it kind of shows with the amount that we're able to get as a team. And we work really hard. It's part of our KPI package every month to discuss them and, where they're coming from and why.
Got it. Thank you. How about you, Terrence? Where do you mainly collect reviews, and what's been the benefit to your business of focusing on that?
Just like Dan, I collect my reviews through Google as well. From before, I did try other places, such as Better Business Bureau or Yelp. But, in the end, what came out stronger would always be Google, because on the side of Google with my Google business, you're always able to see all the traction that you're gaining with how many views you're getting as well, not only from that end or how the calls come in. So with Google and how much more information you can get from it, Google has been one of the main places where we get our reviews.
Kurt, are you on that same train, that Google train?
I am. Yeah, fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, Google's kind of running things online. And I think the most common places for people to find business is online. So I think you just got to think like the customer, like where are they looking? How are they finding you? What's easiest for them? Possibly it could be through Facebook and things like that too. Or Meta now, I guess, as they're changing, but just keeping up on what people are doing and get the reviews through there. So Google obviously is, I think, the top choice.
Okay. And does anyone have any benefits to call out that you've are connected back to the reviews that you've spent time collecting?
Yeah, I can answer that. Yeah, there's been tons. Like a lot of people mentioned how many reviews we have and kind of the quality of the reviews. It also goes to show like what type of services that we offer. I find, there's, when someone says plumbing and heating or heating and air conditioning, that can mean so many different things. So I think, when a client really takes a minute and goes through them and understands this is the right business for their service.
Right. Because we were talking about this and you had mentioned like you don't focus on giant like sky rises, for example, right? So they can get that sense through reading the reviews.
Yeah, right. It's just like a restaurant. What type of food do they serve? Is it quick? Is it, heavy duty? What kind of business are we offering? Because the website obviously takes a lot more time to go into. A lot of people are just going on that Google My Business page, reading the first couple reviews. What's the business like? Giving them a call, especially if it's an emergency.
Got it. Thank you. And you mentioned amount of reviews. I don't know. Does anyone have any opinions on how many? Pretend you're starting from zero. You're pretty intimidated. How many reviews you need to kind of be in the game? I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Terrence.
To be in the game, I believe that you should just try to get any type of review or strive for just the first one, because when you get the first one, you're able to learn from that experience of how you can replicate that again. And from doing so, you can start building up your repertoire. And I think it's really important just to really try to get that first review.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you actually made a good segue into the next question I want to talk about, which is those processes, like how you actually ask for review. So what tactics do each of you use to ask for and secure reviews? Is there anything you tried that didn't work? Any language you use that's really specific? How do you go about getting those reviews? Maybe you want to kick us off, Kurt.
Sure. You have a few different processes. I put a lot more effort into it, obviously, in the beginning because I had more time when I didn't have as many customers. But I mean, I guess being found first is important. So I would really work on my SEO and stuff and just get my name up on that page or that map listing, whatever, to try and get found. And then once you can actually go out and do a quote for a customer, that's definitely where it starts. I try and mentally prepare myself too to do a little bit of extra for the customer to make them feel like they got a little bit extra value or maybe a little extra work done or something, but I account for that myself already. So not only is the job done well, but then they feel like they've gotten something better than they would have maybe with somebody else. And it kind of leads them into wanting to leave a good review. And then usually I'll strike a connection with them, like talk to them in person, spend a few extra minutes before and after the job to just kind of chat them up. And then that usually leads to a good review. You know, other than we also send an email asking people to follow up the review. But honestly, I don't find for me that works very well. I don't get a lot of traction with that. People I just don't think read emails. But definitely in person, asking and being straight up and honest and saying it leaves a good impression for our company and helps us get business. People are pretty good about it.
Nice. Dan, how about you?
Yeah, no, very similar stuff. We've actually created a Google review how-to card. So we always ask our technicians that are on site talking to the client, you know, if they think they, you know, would want to leave a review and maybe don't know how. It's like a very small, you know, hand-sized card, and it says, you know, these are the 5 steps to leaving a Google review. Like, not everybody knows how, right? Especially if you haven't done it. And we found that it's good traction. One, because the technicians aren't just giving it to every single client, right? If the client seems busy or not in the mood, you don't want to, you know, kind of ask them for more of their time. But when you have a great review, you know, opportunity, giving them a card and saying like, hey, here's how it's going. And also, you know, the client takes that physical piece, even though we are trying to go paperless. You know, they throw it on the counter and then maybe they say, you know what, that was a great service. And I do feel like there's value in leaving a review. So we've had some great traction with that. And the technicians feel comfortable because they don't have to explain how to do it if it's someone that's not tech savvy. So that's definitely been a big part of how many reviews we've been able to get.
Do you have any more advice on getting buy-in from your team to actually take the time to ask for reviews?
Yeah, we said, you know, what's a review worth to us? So it's something we did about a year ago. So we started incentivizing our staff members and make it a little bit of like a challenge each month. So we give $5 per guy. So usually our team's of 2. So $10 for a review if they get it and they leave their name. So it's a little bit of a challenge every month, and it gets the guys kind of being a little aggressive too. But we say, you know, what does the review mean to us? And if you get 100 reviews and, you know, $10 a review, it's $1,000 spend. But, you know, that's the best type of marketing, in my opinion, that you're going to be able to get, because it's going to be top of mind for everybody to see.
That's fun. Do they tell the customer, like, can you like name?
Oh
me?
Yeah,
just straight up.
They name drop me all the time too.
Oh.
Because, you know, Dan really wants to get those reviews up, and he's busting my balls. So, it's been a lot of fun around the office, and you know, it's a big thing when we do our safety talks. Is we hand out the cash. So I don't know if the CRA is supposed to know about that, but it's a good time.
So do you end up winning your own competitions or what?
You know, not going to toot my horn. Just pay myself.
You have to set a good example. How about you, Terrence? What tactics do you use at Impetus to ask for reviews, and what's worked or hasn't worked in the past?
Very similar to Kurt and Dan. What we usually do is just we really try to gauge the customers. Not every customer is wanting to write a review. Not every customer has the time to write a review, but it's also really trying to get your technicians to give a feeling of family or a lot of care into the work so that the customer can feel it. And when they feel that feeling reciprocate to them, that's when I get my text to ask them to give that review. And just like Dan, what we do is we do competitions, and at the same time I go a little bit more aggressive, because instead of me doing $5, I do actually $30 per review for the guy, because on the other end of how I do business is I don't have a lot of advertisement and I don't do a lot of advertising. So what I do instead is I have our techs do the advertisement for us. And, back in the past when I was working as a tech, and I kind of felt that reviews were really important when the companies weren't really looking at that. So I really wanted to amplify that, to let my techs know that these are just as important. And if you were to get the review, you're not only helping the business, you're helping yourself. In a bigger picture. So that's what I've been doing to really curate these reviews. And a lot of times with what we do is we also do follow-ups. So I teach my techs that, if you feel they're going to give you a review and they say they do, then we have a follow-up with email. If the follow-up email doesn't work, we do one more follow-up with a phone call, and usually that will secure it. But if that also doesn't work, then it just means that, you just kind of let it simmer and go to the next one.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I'm just writing down some themes. So, you think about reviews like that's your online reputation. But what I've heard from themes from all of you is it's absolutely a strong form of advertising. It can lead to team engagement opportunities. Like, it sounds like it's kind of fun and competitive on your two teams. There's absolutely an element of customer service, like you, Kurt, saying you literally get into the mindset of like having a review worthy like interaction and like making them feel like you're going a little extra. You called it that family experience there, Terrence. And then it sounds like there's multiple touch points. So there's the in-person ask, there's the following up by email, even a phone call with you, Terrence. Yeah. So that's a lot of really great advice. Before we move on, does anyone have anything else they want to add or emphasize in terms of asking?
Yeah, can I add something too?
Yeah.
Obviously, like reviews, the whole reason to get reviews obviously is because you want to get some feedback of how your work was. So I could see if I had employees like you guys do that are out there being unsupervised, you want to know they're doing a great job as well. So it's a bit of accountability that they're actually doing a good job, because they know it's going to come back in a review if it becomes a regular thing to ask for a review. And if there's any holes in your service, you versus other people out there, like even for me, because I work mostly alone, it's hard to compare myself to others. When I get honest reviews back from clients and you see some common threads of them maybe not being fully satisfied, it gives you opportunity to actually improve. So strategically, though, I ask them if it's not going to be, if they weren't completely satisfied. I don't say like if it's not going to be a 5-star or something, but if they're not completely satisfied, to just please let me know personally. So it can be more of a personal interaction, and then you're less likely to get a 4-star or less review or somebody kind of hating on you. So that's why I find that personal connection really helps, because no one will go behind your back and kind of, if they had a bad experience and a bad day, and leave a bad review on there and take it out on you. But if you connect with them personally, they're less likely to do that.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to build on that, Dan? I feel like you had something.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Like I'm chomping at the bit, just because one of the things that came up on Google and from everyone comes to work, and that, they're not malicious, I say. So it just like you said, we're always improving. And if the client doesn't understand that, sometimes at first glance, it can be troublesome, and you can maybe get some of those bad reviews or what they say are bad reviews. What we've noticed in the past, because they've come through a disgruntled client, or maybe they didn't understand. Usually it comes down to billing. They didn't understand their bill properly. Terrence is laughing up there. He knows what I'm talking about. But what we do is we always respond, positive or negative. We always respond to the Google reviews. And I think it gives you some like character and some like realism, where it's like, if this company's just always a 5-star and they've got like, say, once you get more reviews, you'll understand kind of, not you, but you guys out there will understand that, you're going to get some bad reviews, but it's how you deal with challenges and problems. So what we always do is we've actually turned a couple bad reviews into positive reviews because we haven't shied away from a little bit of the conflict. But really, it's usually just education to the client. They didn't know something or they were unsure of something. And I think anybody that hasn't used the services, seeing that is almost like better than just a 5-star review with no wording in it. So I just wanted to share that as been a big part of our business.
Yeah, it shows that it's not just like all your friends reviewing you or something like that. Like there's real people. These are real reviews.
That's where it starts. So I think that's how I start. I ask friends and family and stuff, honestly, to like review me to get going. Because like you got to pull from what you know. So that's not a bad technique, actually. I think starting out.
Can we talk a little bit more about those negative reviews and kind of turning maybe a negative experience into like getting a bump up in the review? How anyone have any stories about how they've like actually like, have you reached out? Have you talked to them on the phone? Like, how did you get that turned around? Was it just the interaction on the review site?
I think it's just like what Dan said. A lot of time is really being confrontational to it, not shying away, and take it on as a really professional business matter instead of putting your emotions in there. One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of business owners do is that they get a bad review and they're like, hey, F this customer. They didn't appreciate me. They didn't do this to me, but they don't look at it as a standpoint of what Kurt said is the way to improve your services. Because when you get a bad star or bad review, you can always reflect on what happened there, what were some mistakes that you made. And I think a lot of people don't really see those. They just see it as a bad review. And by being able to confront it and work with the customer, you can always turn those bad reviews to good reviews. And one thing that I don't want to shy away from this conversation all the time, not this conversation all the time, but I don't want to shy away from is that bad reviews are good. And being able to turn them will really give you the experience of putting out better customer service and putting out better procedures to not have them in the future. And the biggest tip that I could give also is to really try to always turn those stars around. And if you actually have to refund a cost, and if anything with billing, I would do that any day, because I think that an image of a company is really important. It's not worth $200. It's not worth $500. It's not worth $700, not even $1,000. And I think that if we ever have those troubles, I'm the kind of person that would just refund the money and just say that, we might not be the right company for you, but you can have this as a parting gift kind of thing. And, we move on to the next customer. I think that's something that's really, really important in business, for you to know that an image is bigger than anything when you have an online presence.
Wow, that's really powerful. I would love to hear your thoughts on that, Dan and Kurt.
Yeah, we do. As an owner or a manager, we have a mantra that says, before placing blame, you have to look in the mirror as a manager towards someone that's I won't say under you, but a technician. And it's have we set the right expectation? Have we given them the tools to succeed? And have we supported them along the way? And if we can look in the mirror and say we've done that to our best that we can, then it's the technician's fault. But almost every single time as a manager and as a leader, you can say that you didn't do enough. So now that negative review is your review. It's not your technicians. And it really allows you to say, okay, what's the opportunity for growth here and what's the learning from it? So we take a lot of pride in doing that. And it's, just like Terrence said, it's a long game in business. We're not here for a couple of years and then the game's over and we get a trophy. Business is infinite, and making sure that we just kind of build on our processes and procedures so that mistakes or situations don't come up, because they're always going to come up, but not in the masses that they sometimes do at the beginning of business. And also conflict can be good. It's a learning opportunity.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on that one, Kurt?
Reviews? I mean, it's kind of multifaceted. I think a lot of it can be prevented in the first place too, like when you're going and doing the quotes, and not just working for everyone who wants to give you money to do a job. Like, you're kind of choosing your customers as well, especially once you've kind of got a bit of a customer base and, going. And if you kind of don't feel good about it, got a kind of bad gut feeling that this interaction is not going to go well, like maybe you don't take that job on. right? Like it's happened to me before where I've been like, I don't know, and I continue on, and it gets worse and it gets worse, and thank God they didn't leave a bad review online. Maybe because it's challenging, sometimes people don't want to put that extra effort in, but it involved a lot of kind of reconciliation of what happened personally afterwards, and it's always ended on a happy note. But it took a lot of work and a lot of stress and strife and maybe some money, right, to make everyone happy, when it could have been avoided in the first place if I would have listened to my gut on it.
Wow. I did not expect this negative review discussion to go in this direction. So I really appreciate that. That's about, like, how can we do better? What fell apart that we could re-examine, take out the emotion, like what's the kind of business lesson here? So thank you all for that. I am going to switch us over to talk about referrals now. So thank you for that little review masterclass. Essentially, I'm curious if any of you have either a formal referral program or incentive for clients, or do you mostly get referrals through informal word of mouth? Terrence, can I ask you to start? And we'll talk about clients first, because I do want to talk about other partners after.
For me, I would say I don't really have a referral program. Pretty much zero, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of my interactions come from, I'm pretty sure you guys know, from the social media side. So what I do with a lot of my referrals is more so I connect with my community. And what I do is I work with a lot of plumbers, I work with a lot of other HVAC guys, anybody within the trade. And what we do is we make groups, we talk in these groups, we kind of build together and have dinners and have outings. And that's how we kind of give all our work around, and we share with each other. And that's actually a lot stronger sometimes than just telling a client, because, a client can tell family and friends, but not everybody would want to, let's say, pay for that service, I would say. But when you have a community and you build a community, the help that you get from the community is what I believe to be a lot stronger.
Wow. So you're saying, like, maybe people who you would theoretically consider your competitors, you essentially
Exactly.
build community.
Because not, even though they're your competitor, not all of them can take all that work and do all that work. And at the same time, there is just so much work out there. If you're a great company, you will have indefinite work, because your name goes a long way.
Yeah. And so is it just kind of, is there anything formal about it, or is it very much just
It's a lot of it is just relationship building, and
Okay.
I think it has to do with a lot of business as well. Like, for me as a business owner, I don't focus a lot on my customers for referrals, because I don't really care about them giving a program whatsoever. Not that it's a bad thing, and I think everybody has their processes in that, but it's just, for me, I think that relationship building with everybody within your industry comes a lot better, just because they will walk upon those situations more than your clients would ever walk upon them.
Interesting. How about you, Dan? Any formal or informal referral program for clients? And, like, let's just open it up for any partners.
Yeah. Well, it's the holiday season, so this is usually where I pay the piper. So throughout the year, we obviously work with a lot of different clients, whether it's contractors or homeowners or builders. So we always keep an ear to the ground in terms of who's giving us referrals and where the job's coming from. All our incoming calls from our customer service coordinator that takes them, she'll ask where the client came from. And, if we have a couple people that have referred us a lot, one of the things we usually try to avoid with referrals in terms of, like, kind of asking people for them all the time is that you don't want everyone as your client either. You want to find the right clients for you. And even when I'm connecting, say, a good contractor with a homeowner, I'm asking the right questions and trying to educate myself on, wait a minute, what does the homeowner actually want? And does this, contractor fit that bill? Because if I work with some contractors who do some really big projects, and I'm sure everybody here gets the question, like, oh, do you know anyone that does any bathroom renos? It's like, well, no, they don't. That's not what they do. So you don't want to, like, a referral program can also be negative, because if you give a referral, you now own that relationship between those two people. It is like 100% your problem. So we're very aware when it's going to be a big benefit. We connect the two people, and just like Terrence said, you're building your community. One of the things to just piggyback on Terrence again is get involved in your community. It's the best type of referral program you can do. being out there on social and giving back to the places that are, you know, essentially giving you business, which is your community, whether it's like, you know, we're doing a toy drive or a food drive or, you know, volunteering your time. Everybody just assumes that a company is a great company when they're doing stuff like that. So you can get a lot. We've found a lot of referrals from, oh, I know a plumbing company, and why is that, right? Maybe they haven't even used our services, but they know that we're out there and we're doing good things. And just like going back to the Google reviews, if we weren't doing good things, our reviews would show it, right?
Right.
It's kind of hard to hide these days on the media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or Google. So that's definitely what we do for referrals.
Kurt.
I
How
have a
about
few-
you?
yeah.
I'm just like that. Yeah, I feel like, okay, let me wrap that up. Very, very strong theme there of community building between the two of you. I saw you nodding too, Kurt. Any thoughts to add there?
Yeah, I mean, same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Collaboration with other businesses, people that are similar to you. Like being an arborist, it's more of a specialty thing, just to trees,
Yeah.
right? So then, obviously, people that have arborists often use people that are like landscapers, that sort of thing. So I'll collaborate with them, and I do have a few like official things in place, but more brought on by them or interested from them. Because oftentimes I'll give consultations for trees, and I want them to amend the soil and things like that underneath. But I don't do that as a service for my business.
Mhm.
It's just not what I do or worthwhile. So I think we have like a 2% referral fee kind of in place, and then it gets checked on every so often. And we've incorporated some online things to put a request in for each other, so it's kind of tracked.
Okay.
Yeah, so it should work pretty good. You know, but I haven't seen it come to anything yet. Like it just started this year.
Okay.
And it seems like what they do with a lot of other companies as well, because this company works with a lot of other smaller companies. So
Right. And that's kind of like, because those services are so complementary to each other, it can be a little bit more formal.
yeah, exactly. And I think they know that I'm handing out the reviews or recommendations for other landscapers all over the place, and they want to be the ones that I recommend, right? So they kind of return the favor to recommend me as their arborist.
Got it. Well, that ended up being in such an interesting direction of just kind of the relationship building with other businesses and other kind of community things, not that like specific one-to-one ask necessarily to customers. So thank you for that insight. I'm actually curious, Terrence, let's pretend someone's like, yeah, I'd love to talk to other business owners who I maybe would traditionally see as my competitors. How should they reach out? Because that sounds intimidating if you've never done that before.
Biggest thing, I'm like a huge social media guy. So, you know, the first thing I would do is just go around your community. There's LinkedIn, there's Instagram, there's Facebook. You can find all these companies that you kind of look up to at the same time and know that they're a certain size, even if they're the same ones. And just slide into their DMs, like we would say, right? You just message them and be like, hey, I really like what you do. Do you mind having a coffee sometime where we can talk together? You know, with no intent to really get business per se, right?
Right.
A lot of the times that you do things, I think a lot of people like to expect. So another thing is don't expect. What you really want to expect from there is to just create a relationship, because not only can you learn from them, you might then it's only the complimentary side as you might get business from them, right? But at least you want to make that connection first, because you don't know where this person can lead you to another person. Then it becomes a whole new network. And I think that's how a lot of people should start, you know, message people on their DMs or go on LinkedIn and just say, hey, how are you? And, you know, and that's how I kind of know Dan from Guest Plumbing as well, right? Because I think the first time I met him and talked to him was through LinkedIn. And even without Jobber, I knew Dan ahead of time. We had a little bit of chit chat as well.
It's a small world.
Yep.
So yeah, lots of really great themes there about working with your community, both clients and other business owners, to grow your reputation online and grow your business. So thank you all so much for this discussion. I appreciate it.